Articulation Radio. Articulation.
Greetings and salutations. Welcome to another informative and entertaining episode of Articulation Radio. I am your host, the Honorable Joaquin Man. You know how we do things here at Articulation Radio. We will start off the day's episode by taking a glance at the news headlines, and today's news segment is sponsored by bepublished.org.
Here are three of the news headlines and events I saw today, Friday, June 3rd, 2022, when visiting EliteValuesNews.com. Multi-millionaire Dominique Barbie announces advanced orders are being accepted for her book debut, Millionaire from Scratch, Blueprint for Achievement, available on her website, CoachMe2SevenFigures.com. CoachMe2SevenFigures.com. Milwaukee celebrates the nuptials of Mr. Kenneth Lawrence and Mrs. Dominique Jackson, who were married in Chicago at the South Shore Cultural Center on Saturday. And submissions are being accepted by peoplewarmers.com for new clients seeking to monetize their YouTube accounts and TikTok accounts. They help you get more views at peoplewarmers.com. Those are three of the news headlines and events I saw when visiting EliteValuesNews.com on your behalf. As you know, so much happens in this world of ours, and the staff at Elite Values News encourages you to be sure to check out the headlines any minute within any hour under any category, because the staff at Elite Values News makes it a point to keep you abreast of as much as possible in this great world of ours, and they do report in multiple categories. Check them out today. I am Goddess Sage, reporting live.
Looking for the latest news? Visit Elite Values News. EliteValuesNews.com has all the latest news and information. Check out the headlines hourly. EliteValuesNews.com. Visit now.
Do you want to be published? Are you looking for a high-quality, low-cost way to be published with a fast turnaround? Visit bepublished.org to publish today. www.bepublished.org. bepublished.org. Publish today. Books, movies, and music. Listeners, we love you, we hear you, and I am so glad to be here with you today on this episode of Articulation Radio. I have an interview coming up for you, and I also have a topic, so stay tuned.
Mr. Magic you gone, Mr. Magic? Where have you gone, Mr. Magic? Oh, 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 you to me. He put his hands on me and kissed me tenderly, and held me tight. I'd give up anything that I possess just to have him tonight. Mr. Magic, where have you gone? Mr. Magic, where have you gone? Mr. Magic, yeah. Oh, oh, you turn me on. I threw away my pride, and I broke down and cried. I broke down and cried over you. But just like magic powder, you took one move, and now I don't know what to do. Mr. Magic, where have you gone? Mr. Magic, yeah, where have you gone? Mr. Magic, yeah, oh, 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 you turn me on. You know that you're letting me on. You really turn me on.
PeopleWarmer.com. Book your travel today. PeopleWarmer.com. Wherever you want to stay. PeopleWarmer.com. Book everything you need. PeopleWarmer.com. Go ahead whenever you please. And if you need advertising, marketing, and promotions, add on an S and head on over to PeopleWarmers.com. That's PeopleWarmers.com. Have you always wanted to start a business but can't seem to get it off the ground? Need help building a website? Contact The Conglomerate 972-880-8316 or visit theconglomerate.work. TheConglomerate.work. Theconglomerate.work 972-880-8316. Start your new business today.
All right, Smith. Let's slow this down for a minute, man. I got some serious things on my mind I want to talk about. And I know everybody out there can relate to this. Cause it's just a situation that I'm in, and I know I ain't the only one out there. I know I ain't by myself. So if you listening to this, fire up your blunt. Stay with me. Lend me your ear for a few seconds. At night, which hand is rocking my cradle? I know the devil's in hell, making deals for my soul up under the table, but they label me the son of sin. Man, I count from 1 to 10, and I'm wondering if and when the demons are gonna come again. This hell on earth that I was born in got me tripping. Are we in hell already? Is heaven really a fact of fiction? Got me predicting my death. I'm holding my breath on the next move, just left long enough to see the next move. I creep inside some Pleasant Grove to get where I gotta go and stay low, cause you never know when a white devil, aka pole pops up and beats me to the punch. Now my body's chalked up, My race is barely getting by. The misery is seen in my eyes. My own people wanna see me die. I wonder why the hell it is. When I find myself in the clip, somebody's fucking up my deal. Sexually transmitted diseases surround me like disciples of Jesus. Still spreading like the measles. Crack babies born and put up in an incubator. Niggas kill, kids steal to get their hands on paper. Women mixing business with pleasure. Economy declining so rapidly. Will I be able to maintain my sanity? That ain't the way it's supposed to be. I'm trying to break free from the shackles, but the man is steadily holding me. Heaven be over me and hell be underneath. Right now I'm stuck between. Where am I supposed to be? Eventually my time will come, and when it does, will y'all see an eternity going through all the dirt I done? Will I receive a judgment after I'm sentenced for a dope case? There's no escape. Any minute I could bite the bullet, but will it be a friend before the bullet? This born in hell is all bullshit. Born in hell and left for dead when I became an adult and moved out. Everything revolving around me had dealt with dope. You never know what life could lead to. Family members deceive you, and bullshit is what they feed you. Since the day I was born, trouble clings to me like static. And since I'm addicted to bullshit, I guess that makes me an addict. Can you honestly tell me Tupac ain't in a better place? Cause every corner I turn, eternity is stirring me in my face. Yeah, that's just part of the way I feel, you know. I'm just purging myself. I'm just trying to reach out. That's all. Smith, I'm gonna drop this second verse, then I'm gonna be out of here, alright? I just hope somebody out there can sympathize with me. Don't sympathize for me. Sympathize with me. That's all. Now let's do this. Whoa. I'm down to my last option. Now it's on and popping. I'm treating every step like death with extreme caution. Distraction, including women, dope, and gambling are hard to overcome, and some got me packing. What is it coming to? What's the answer? What's the reason? Can't get them from my pastor or my deacon. Cause one's a pimp and the other's a drunk, giving me the incentive to fuck up. But I can't put it all on them. Can't point no fingers. Gotta take some blame for all these misdemeanors. But even so, y'all tell me what I gotta do to go. And word is I need to be, cause society is sick of G. And I can't take another year of this shit. All this ducking and dodging, y'all, there's gotta be something you can do. I ask you to give me the strength to grasp and bounce back. Cause sin stick to me like sausage shit without a strap. I'm a sitting duck, no telling what niggas might attempt, whatever that may be. It never ceases to amaze me though, cause I'm dead either way I go. The scenario has went from bad to worse. Is my life a mistake? Tell me, can I be reimbursed? Evil alert, y'all save me. We born in hell, and it hurts to know I'm crazy. Let's keep it real. Yes, man. Say, I'm sorry if I hurt somebody with that. That's just the way I feel. I feel like we all born in hell, and some of us just don't know it. Well, you know, you want to talk about it? Hit me up. 1-800-G-MAN. We can talk. We can ride. Whatever you want to do.
With I'm gonna dwell.
ArtistReview.com. All artists need a platform. The Artist Review makes sure you have the one you need to put your work in front of your fans. ArtistReview.com. Artist, REVUE.com.
Today's episode of Articulation Radio was kicked off with Mr. Magic by Erica Johnson. After that, you heard Born in Hell by G-Man featuring Chris Styles and Goddess Sage. Now, before I play Tangle Tapes 3 for you by Anders Bolton, let me tell you a little bit about today's topic. Today's show is titled The Superpower of Different, because Goddess Sage will be interviewing the expert platformist for the neurodiverse Dr. Kristen Eccleston. And head on over to her website for those of you who don't already know about Dr. Kristen Eccleston's great work. Her website is theneurodiverseteacher.com.
TheNeurodiverseTeacher.com, TheNeurodiverseTeacher.com. Dr. Kristen Eccleston makes it a point to make sure that people who are normally picked out to be picked on are picked out to be empowered and are definitely picking things up from the ground up and taking it all the way beyond the stars, baby. That superpower of different goddess sage is going to come on with that interview with Dr. Kristen Eccleston here in a moment. And of course, I'm going to get this song rolling for you, this Tangle Tapes 3 by Anders Bothen. But in the meantime, head over to the neurodiverseteacher.com and connect with Dr. Eccleston. But hang tight for this music and this interview, and I'm going to keep this show rolling with more good music afterwards. Hang tight, babes.
You are listening to Articulation Radio. Head on over to articulationmedia.club and let us know your thoughts.
Would you like a motivational speaker to come to your company or organization to speak to your group? Visit lifespurposeministries.com. That's lifespurposeministries.com.
Do you frequently shop online and you're looking for a new place to shop? Join the club, JeffersonTaylor.club, where models, designers, inventors, and other creators offer customers the best products at fair prices. Jefferson Taylor, JeffersonTaylor.club. Join the club. Shop today, JeffersonTaylor.club.
Articulation Radio is very pleased to have on the line with us today, people, Dr. Kristen Eccleston. And we are extremely pleased to have her here because, folks, we have been telling you all for years to not downplay your difference, to play up your difference. That's what makes you so great. And Dr. Eccleston is going to have some tips to help you do that even more this Mental Health Awareness Month. And, of course, we know every month, really, we should be aware of not only our mental health, but making it a point to operate at optimal levels of health, period, whether it's emotional health, mental health, physical health, spiritual health, all of it. And Dr. Eccleston is always available to help you get it in and get it done right. Dr. Eccleston, welcome to Articulation Radio.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Thank you. Thank you. And let the listeners know real quick, for those who are like, look, I already know I'm struggling right now. I am trying. I've done the COVID thing. I've gone through it. I was able to keep it together, but it just seems like there's a lot of weight on me right now, and I can barely get up out of it, and a lot of other things. What is there that have been some of the, I would say, most pressing concerns that you've heard repeated here and there, probably even some of the things that I've mentioned that I've heard people say, and what is the most, I would say, urgent message that you need them to be sure to hear first off?
Absolutely. So first off, I think the most important thing to know is that you're not alone. That is the biggest thing, because I think so often when we're dealing with mental health, and it doesn't matter if we're young, we're old, wherever we are, I think one of the biggest things about mental health is that we feel alone. And that really comes from years and years of stigma being associated with us just not being open or honest about some of the things that we're facing because of that stigma. So know first off that you're not alone, especially post-pandemic. I think that has been one of the biggest factors, not just for youth that I've seen in school settings, but even just adults. It's like we were shut down for almost 2 years, and then it was like this expectation that we just got back to life as normal as was. But I think a lot of us had some awakenings during that 2-year period, that we realized that maybe the grind of every day wasn't something that was satisfying to us, or just had that awakening that we were pulled out of that routine or that rut that we'd gotten so used to for years, and realized that, hey, you know what? This is not how I want to go about my everyday anymore. This is not what brings me passion or joy. And we've had so many realizations. So I think the biggest message right now is to just know you're not alone, that it's okay to seek help, to talk about your feelings. And if anything, I think that's how we'll break down stigma, is by being open about what we're dealing with, what we're struggling with, and know that there are certified people out there, therapists, counselors, who are really dedicated to making sure that you have a safe space to talk through your feelings and anything you might be going through.
Yes, definitely. And we know that you pretty much, this is all you do, that you're pretty much focused primarily on the neurodivergence and mental health, and you even have a website where you not only offer information but give people the chance to connect with you and get that one-on-one guidance. And your website, will you tell them that web address?
Absolutely. They can find me at www.theneuroDiverseTeacher.com. And there's all sorts of links on there to all sorts of different things that I'm involved in. I also am an education consultant, and I help families, specifically students who have mental health needs in the education setting, and helping them navigate either the special education process or just concerns that they're having with school in general. If their student is, per se, a school avoider or really struggling with mental health that's impacting them in the education setting.
Wow. And how would, for any parents who are knowing that they need these particular services and they're like, hey, it's great that I can always go to the neurodiverseteacher.com, and people, that's TheNeuroDiverseTeacher.com, theNeuroDiverseTeacher.com. And for those who are like, okay, well, I know that I can go there, but I already know my child and I do need your help, and I would want to connect with you right now and see whether we can do sessions during the week. Do you have people that you work with like that? And if so, is it that it's pretty much video chatting, or do you do it where they can actually have the telephone conferencing, or what are the options with the services?
Absolutely. So I really try to make myself as available as possible. So I'm based out of the Washington, D.C. area. So if you're there in this area, I can help you in person if need be, go into schools and observing. I guess one of the positives that have come from the pandemic would be virtual has become a very big formatting now. So, and a lot of schools have been using that. So I'm able to support families all over the country actually through a virtual platform. I'm also very happy to get on the telephone. Some people like that good old-fashioned telephone session. So I really can serve and support students and families in many different capacities. So most of my services are either talking with families directly or being part of your school meetings with you so that you feel like you're not as alone. A lot of parents feel like maybe they're ganged up on at school, or they're just not sure how to navigate the system or the process. So that's something that I can also support as well.
And you also have a podcast. Tell us about your podcast, and that's also called, I think, the Neurodiverse Teacher, right?
It is. It's a brand new podcast. I'm getting ready to release the first episode, and I'm excited about it because my guest is actually my first student that I ever had. This is going to age me now that they're in their 30s, and I taught them when they were in high school. But it's my first student that I ever had who actually inspired so much of what I do. It was one of those experiences when I was 22 years old, got into teaching. I definitely had some struggles of my own. I was undiagnosed ADHD female growing up, didn't know it. So I definitely could relate with students who were struggling at school, didn't enjoy school. And this particular student I just had a connection with right away, and they showed me the importance of having individualized opportunities in the education setting for students. And they have been an inspiration throughout my career in just how I've worked with students, and then ultimately a program I started for students with mental health needs. So I was really excited that they were willing to come on and be my first guest, since I also feel like I have to kind of give them credit for a lot of what I've done in my professional career as well.
Yes. Yes. And what would you say, because I would imagine that when you first started focusing on, I would say, looking out for the people who feel looked over. When you first started looking out for them, I would imagine that there were a lot of things that you would hear them say that they've gone through, that you would hear other people say, and that you would probably able to let them know, no, you may feel like you're alone, but I hear this often. If that is the case, what was that thing that you would hear a lot? Was it that more people would feel like they are alone when they're going through the bad things, or is it that more people are feeling like they are alone because they're different, they don't really feel like they fit in, or is it that you find that most people are feeling, I would say, different or picked out or picked on because they are more, I would say, free-spirited people who, have that confidence and, have that creativity, but, they just feel like, people feel like, I'm just out of control. Or what is it that you found was, I would say, the majority of the people that you were dealing with?
Absolutely. So I would say I noticed trends in the students that I was working with, who were especially students who were impacted by mental health, that a lot of them, if not the mass majority of them, were students who I would also classify as being neurodiverse. And so neurodiversity means a lot of different things. It can mean having autism. It can mean being dyslexic, dyscalculia, having ADHD, sensory processing disorder. So neurodiversity really encompasses quite a few different areas. But I noticed that a lot of my students were somebody who would fall into that neurodiverse category. And I think a lot of them felt very alone in the sense because specialist school makes you feel very different. When you're neurodiverse, that something's wrong with you, that instead of schools looking at maybe it's the way we're delivering instruction, or maybe it's the way we're teaching, or the way that the system was structured hundreds of years ago and we need to revamp it. Instead, we go, nope, I think something's wrong with you. You're not learning right. You're not learning the way that you should be, or producing the scores that you should. And we really create, I feel like the sense of lack of self-confidence in students because we've made them feel like something is wrong with them. And so I think one of the biggest messages that I constantly heard from students was just this feeling of isolation, or feeling alone or lonely, or feeling different. And I think a lot of that is, especially at the age of being a teenager, we don't want to necessarily be different from our peers. We don't want to stand out from a crowd, which I really try to tell my students, yes, you do. You want to be an individual. You want to be yourself. You want to stand out. The things that make you different are the things that make you wonderful and amazing. But I think that's really hard, especially as a teenager, because oftentimes people deal with differences by making fun of, or especially if they don't understand something. And I think that's hard, and that's why teenagers try to hide a lot of their differences from their peers. But my biggest message to them is stand out. be that person in the crowd, be that change maker, because a lot of these kids, and I would say almost all of these kids, have the ability to be change makers, to cure cancer, to do some really amazing things. And we have left them feeling so inadequate or defeated or self-conscious in what their abilities are because the system is failing them. And instead of empowering them, we're making them feel bad about themselves. And so my big message to anybody who is neurodiverse or anybody who feels different, to embrace that difference and don't care what other people think. Don't care about how other people see it. If you're not a strong student, that's okay. I wasn't a strong student. I was horrible at school. I didn't like school. And now I have a doctorate from Johns Hopkins University, and I tell students that not to be like, oh, look at me, but that I didn't let my youth or how I was as a student in high school define who I was in the future. And it took me a long time. It took me till probably my late 20s, early 30s before I finally had that confidence in myself to be able to pursue that. But I don't want our youth to have to take as long as me. I want them to be able to come out of a high school knowing right away how amazing they are and what they're capable of. And it didn't matter if high school was great or wasn't great, that they're capable of going on and achieving whatever they want. And if they have goals and dreams and desires, don't ever let anybody say, no, you're not going to make it or you're not capable. If that's what you want and that's where your passion lies, go for it. Just know that maybe it'll look different than what you had in your mind, but different is okay. Different as long as you're pursuing what makes you happy is absolutely okay and puts you on the right path. And so going back to your original question, since I know I kind of deviated here, is I think the biggest sense that thank you. I think the biggest sense, though, is a lot of students just feel lonely and feel very isolated and feeling different. And I want them to know they're not alone. A lot of your peers feel that way, but being different is okay. Allow that to shine through and stand out and really start to own that as an individual.
Yes, and in my opinion, of course, you listeners of Articulation Radio already know that definitely, I'm one of those who believe that being your you is what makes it best, not you trying to alter your you to make it something like someone else's you in hopes that your you would be accepted. No way, because if you're not showing people your authenticity, how can you expect that their acceptance of you is authentic especially when you know that you're not even showing them the real you? And even if you think that they're accepting it as you know, they can't be because you're not even giving it to them. So how can we really give a person a chance to really accept us and know us and love us when we're not even showing them us and letting our love for ourselves even allow us to even shine? So I would like to ask you, because I know that there are some people who are like, look, I love myself. I love being different. I embrace the things about me, but, and then there's always that but, or, but I still get uncomfortable, or, I would rather speak up, but, I just don't say anything because I don't want to step on anyone. They're still, I would say, downplaying themselves because they're still trying to do what they think is acceptable. And I personally tell people, let it go. You need to find your fuck it factor. There is nothing that you can do that will guarantee everyone will accept it. So you have to be like, forget it. I accept me. I love me. I know that what I'm planning to do is right. It's best. And really, it's your own authority that you should seek, your own acceptance. But what would you say to those people who really have a hard time moving forward with something until they get someone else's okay? Like, for instance, they have been working on the same book for 8 years because they always need to get feedback from other people. They can't, or even they've been wanting to start Ubering, but because everyone they talk to is like, oh, you can't do this. They're like, oh, well, I would really love it, but, it just everybody says no. For those people who we can see that they're not being their fullest because they are trying to fit and, follow what the people who they accept say do, what is there that we can kind of say to help them, or what is there that you usually say to help those people accept themselves and find confidence in their own thoughts?
Absolutely. So I'm actually going to steal this from someone. I read this the other day. I'm a big music fan, and one of the people I really enjoy is John Mayer. And he happened to post something on Instagram the other day talking about an anniversary of one of his albums. And he talked about on this post how when he created this album, it wasn't necessarily something that I guess was in his genre at the time or the type of music he had been previously producing. And so it wasn't as well received by fans when he first put it out. But 10 years later, it's very well received by fans and is one of his most favorite albums to play live. And some of the advice that he gave as he continued into that post, I really found to be very inspiring and very touching, and really to me addresses the question that you just asked, in the sense that his message was to go ahead in this time, in this space right now, go forward with whatever your art is or whatever your dream is, your goal is, and do it in a way that is great for you in this moment. What is meaningful to you? What does it look like for you? What makes you happy? Instead of trying to tailor your art or your passion to what you think others will receive or others will be interested in, because you never know with time how art will evolve or how it will change. Yes. And so something that maybe not be well received in this moment, 5 years from now, could be exactly what people need or exactly what people are looking for. So not to limit yourself based on what you think others will expect from you or want from you, because you never know what you create or what you do, when it's going to be in style or when it's going to be in fashion. So go ahead and do what makes you happy now. And maybe it won't be well received right away, but in 5 years, it could be the talk of the town and could be exactly what people needed in their lives. And I thought that was really, really meaningful, because it really kind of puts aside, or is encouraging you to put aside that, well, what will people think? Because I think that is one of the biggest things we all get hung up on. And I think that's kind of a generational thing that's been passed down. What will the neighbors think? Well, what will this person think? And that's still very much ingrained in our minds. Even when we're accepting of ourselves, there's still that little voice like, oh, well, how will people see me? How will people view or judge me? And I think we're all victim to that at time. And I liked what he had to say, because I felt like it was get that out of your mind, let that go, and just focus on what makes you happy now. And who cares if it's well received now, because maybe in the future it will be. And I liked that, because that was kind of the get out of your mind and do what makes you happy, and do it in a sense that's not putting others first, but is putting yourself first and creating something that's meaningful to you.
Yes. And one of the things that I love, as a matter of fact, listeners, for those of you just tuning in, you're listening to ARTiculation Radio. My name is Goddess Sage, and I am interviewing Dr. Kristen Eccleston, and we are talking about her platform, the Neurodiverse Teacher. We've discussed how she's soon going to have her own podcast. She's there in the Washington area. So for those of you that are in D.C., you probably already know you can reach out to her and contact her to get her assistance to help you to better not only yourself, but also if it happens to be your child who is neurodiverse, then of course she can help you to help your child to walk in his or her greatness as well. And I love the way, Dr. Eccleston, the way you empower people. There are some people who are like, oh, well, this and that is wrong with me. This and that is wrong with me. And I tell them we all have something wrong with us. If you wear glasses, then that means that, hey, you have something wrong with your vision. There is not a single person who doesn't have anything wrong with them. But for some reason in society, people are thinking, it's odd for anyone to have anything, that ADHD is an oddity, or it's something wrong with you, or if you're bipolar, or if you have PTSD, or if you're anxious or depressed, it's something wrong with you, and that's why I tell them it's something wrong with everybody. From that aspect, we all have something that we're dealing with that someone else may look at as not being normal. But I love how with your platform, how one of the ways that you empower people is, and there's this, and you all will see it when you go to her website, the neurodiverseteacher.com, you will see there is this image, and I'm like, I would love this on a T-shirt, and I'm sure there are probably plenty of people with ADHD is my superpower, and I'm thinking you can put that on anything, you know, whereas, of course, in cases like mine where it's like, talking too fast is my superpower, you know, or whatever it is. But, yeah, I love that where the very thing that someone can say is, quote, unquote, wrong with you, that you take that away and you make it your empowerment. You say that's your superpower. You know, like in my case, you know, I have it to where my hands shake. And there have been some people, when I tell you, I've even had it to where people are like, oh, are you an alcoholic? I'm like, no. You know, why would you ask that? And then they're like, because your hands shake real bad and my hands shake real bad like that because I'm an alcoholic. And I'm like, no, it's always been that way. And it's a condition. My father, all three of his children, all of our hands have a natural shake. But it's funny, and it shows you how people will see things, and because of what they are dealing with, they will project that onto you. And so, and what would you say to people who have kind of gone through that? Like, say you're suffering with one thing, but people are assuming it's this other thing because that's what they are dealing with, or people that they know are dealing with. And you're trying to tell them, no, that's not me. No, I don't have that. This is what I have. But then they're still like, oh, no, well, you know, I know it's got to be this because that's the way it is for me. And I know whereas I'm strong enough to handle that, and I know how to, but I know a lot of people, they'll just let people talk over them. They'll be like, if the person's like, nah, it's got to be because this is what it is with me, then they'll just be like, okay. And that'll make the person think, yeah, you know, you were right that your problem is mine, when really it's not. What would you say to kind of help people be able to stand up for their situation and to find power in their condition? What would you say to kind of help those that go through that?
Absolutely. So the first piece I would want to say is I want to give you some insight to that, let's call them the other person, the person who maybe is not as in tune or up to speed with what's going on. And I would say the first thing to know is we all have personal biases. Every single one of us, it doesn't matter who you are, where you come from. And it's all been developed through our experiences in our life. And some of us have personal biases, but we're opening to transforming what we know, because you don't know what you don't know. And some of us are very open to transforming that. That's those of us who are willing to hear other people's opinions or other people's experiences and go, I hadn't thought of it like that before, or that's a really interesting or unique perspective. And then they shift their personal bias and they grow their personal bias and go, okay, now I know this, or now I understand this. And so I'm going to come at it from a different perspective now that I have information that I didn't previously have. But then you also have people who have personal biases and they go, nope, I'm not willing to take on any other information or other opinions. This is what I believe, and I will continue to believe this no matter what you tell me. And that's unfortunate, because I feel like that's often the people that you run into who essentially do that gaslighting, right? Or say, nope, that can't be what you're going through because I don't have any knowledge of that, or that's not my experience before. And so I would say if you run across people like that, that's unfortunate, because hopefully most people are people who are willing to transform their knowledge and grow and take in your experiences and allow that to become some of what they understand or what they now know. But you're going to come across people in life who just go, nope, your opinion is different from mine, so I can't get along, can't listen, can't hear what you're saying. And I would say in situations like that, know that it's them and not you. And you can only argue with an irrational person for so much before you're just going to frustrate yourself. So I feel like in circumstances like that, stand up for yourself and say, no, this is what's going on with me and this is what I'm dealing with. And I'd love to share more with you about it. And if they are going to fight you or be combative, then I'm sorry that we can't see eye to eye or we are agreeing to disagree here, but I wouldn't spend too much of your time and energy on somebody who's not going to be open to learning more or being receptive to hear your opinion. But in the circumstances where you do have people who are open and are willing to take on additional knowledge or transform their way of thinking, then by all means own who you are as an individual and say, yeah, I do forget stuff sometimes. I'm going to talk about it in terms of ADHD. Maybe I forget stuff sometimes, or I misplace my keys, or I forget that I have a meeting or an appointment. But you know what I can also do? I can really fixate on something to the point where I can make myself an expert on something in a very short period of time if I have interest in it. If I'm passionate about it, my goals and dreams are limitless in my passion. I'm able to get somebody who can do something in 4 hours. I can probably get it done in 1 or 2 hours because I can focus and do. So there's so many wonderful things about what you are experiencing as a neurodiverse person too. So play up those things and don't just focus on the deficits, but really play up the things that you're really, really good at or that make you unique or allow you to stand out from individuals, and share that information. And don't be afraid to share that information. I feel like one of the only ways that we'll be able to really voice our differences and have people gain understanding is if we're willing to talk about it. So if you have somebody who's receptive and is willing to listen, then I think it's something that you should share and really talk about your experiences. And I think that's also a way for other people to go, oh my gosh, I have the same thing happen to me. I never knew that's what it is. Now I know to maybe look into this or talk to my doctor or to seek this type of support because I had the same things going on and nobody ever shared with me or pointed it out to me before.
Yes. Beautiful, Dr. Eccleston. People, you want some more of this, right? So you want to join Dr. Kristen Eccleston on her podcast, The Neurodiverse Teacher. It's going to be coming out every other Friday. The first episode is going to be coming out when in June?
It should be coming out the last week of June.
Last week of June. And people, as you know, you are hearing this episode today, the first Friday in June, June 3rd. And so get ready, head on over to theneuroDiverseTeacher.com, TheNeuroDiverseTeacher.com, theneuroDiverseTeacher.com. You got to get it in. Join Dr. Kristen Eccleston and make sure that you get empowered and that you're able to gain this knowledge so you can empower someone else. Dr. Eccleston is a published researcher. She's a professor. She's actually a mental health advocate. She makes it a point to explore the amazing side of being neurodivergent and gets it to where you accept you and embrace you and love every element of you. And Dr. Eccleston, before I let you go, what is there that you have not had a chance to share with the listeners of Articulation Radio that you would like to express right now to them?
I think if I could express anything is no matter who you are, where you are right now listening, just know that you have a fan in me. I think that you are an amazing individual no matter what you've gone through in your life, no matter what you've experienced. Know that there are other people out there who are going through similar things and support you and find you to be amazing. And I am definitely one of those people. Even if we've never met, you have somebody in your corner who wants to have nothing but positive things happen for you in your life. And I wish you nothing but success, happiness, and joy. Even in those moments where things might seem tough or you feel like you're struggling, I've got your back. I support you, and just know it's temporary and you are going to be successful.
Yes, people. It's time to push past that fear of being different. It's time to no longer let things hold you back. There's plenty of opportunities out there that are waiting for you to go ahead and embrace them and take them on fully, and also opportunities that are waiting for you to create them so that other people who are just like you, well, of course we know, not the splitting image because you're so great and so different, but you know what I mean. Other people who are just as unique, who feel like they do not have that support, maybe it's because it's for you to create something for them, just like you see Dr. Eccleston has done. What she's doing, as you already know, is helping so many people, and what you have to do can help so many people too. Matter of fact, what you may create maybe something that will even help Dr. Eccleston continue to help more people. So go ahead, put your stuff out there, put it in place, Reach out to Dr. Eccleston. Anything that you need that she can help you out with, you already know she's going to do that. You know that. Anything your family needs, your loved one needs, she's going to arm you with that knowledge. Reach out, set it up. Go ahead and whatever it is that she has to offer that you can benefit from it. Sign up, lock it in so that you can get those podcasts to streaming there as soon as each one is loaded. Sign up to where you can go in and you can get the classes, you can get her books, you can get anything that she has to offer to make sure that you are armed and that you are able to help other people arm themselves and make their life the best it can be as well. Dr. Eccleston, thank you so much for coming on to Articulation Radio. You are more than welcome to come back at any time you please, and especially with the great work you're doing. Do not be surprised if we even reach out and invite you to be a guest on again.
Well, thank you. I really enjoyed spending time with you today, and I really appreciate this opportunity to come out and share what I think is a really important message. So thank you so much.
Beautiful. And I thank you for the work you're doing. I so thank you. It really is needed. It really is not only making a difference in the lives of people who have been treated less than, but you're putting them in a position to where they will be able to help other people see previously a bit better than they were able to see. And even will eventually, because I believe each seed leads towards something beautiful that's going to grow. And to have it to where eventually maybe we will have a society where we see bullying has been lessened, or where we see that self-sabotage or people feeling stigmatized, that a lot of those things won't be going on, because people really will feel like there is not this certain thing that seems to make it inevitable for life to be a struggle for them. So I thank you for giving people means and methods to make their life better and to even help other people who are struggling too, because we all need help, especially those of us who have had it a bit worse than others.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
from all the things that are you. I know my love will see us through. Don't you feel the times are coming? 'Cause I feel it so strong. I've been on hold on, baby. Don't you feel the times are coming? When it feels so right to dance in the moonlight, baby, with you. Don't you feel the times are coming? 'Cause I feel it so strong. I've been on hold on, baby. Don't you feel the times are coming? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Oh, don't you feel the times are coming?
You just heard Good Times Are Coming by LM Styles. Up next is Out of Thin Air by Jesse Lawrence featuring Joe Leon, followed by You're the One by Sven Carlson featuring Maja Norming. But first I have for you I Got Doubts by Spring Gang featuring Viggy Vox. Media Room 360 TV. Media Room 360 TV is a channel that has something for everyone, from world news, inspiration, programming for kids, politics, sports, technology, and entertainment. Media Room 360 TV has got you covered. Check out one of our shows today on Roku. Media Room 360 Internet Television on Roku. And if you need a speaker, head over to Media Room 360 Speakers at MediaRoom360.com. That's MediaRoom360.com.
Articulation Radio, thanks you so much for listening. So head on over right now to articulationmedia.club and let us know your thoughts on today's episode. In the meantime, we're going to keep the show rolling for you.
Are you looking for grant writers, technical writers, creative writers, academic writers, any kind of writers? Head to the Writers Consortium. Their website, writersconsortium.us, www.writersconsortium.us, the Writers Consortium, writersconsortium.us, for all of your writing needs. Think of it, they can produce it for you. They are the ghost writers to the top people.
You always searching for a better thing, wanna replace me. I'm in a place that I've never been. It's worse than lonely. Can someone tell me they see good in me? There's good in me. Cause I got doubts, I got doubts, I got doubts, yeah. Sometimes I wanna risk it all. Since you left me, struggle, baby, I see pain. Cause I got nothing. Can someone tell me they see good in me? There's good in me. Cause I got doubts, I got doubts, I got doubts, yeah. Ooh, isn't it strange we turn to strangers? You've erased all your pictures on your phone. Ooh, your final words on a piece of paper. Don't love you anymore. Tell me there's good in me. Cause I got doubts, I got doubts. daydreams, and I never wanna have to fear since you left me. Can someone tell me this is good in me? This good in me? Cause I got doubts, I got doubts, I got doubts, yeah. Thinking that nobody can keep me safe. Who's gonna want me? I drink and smoke just to numb the pain of being lonely. Can someone tell me this is good in me? This good in me? Cause I got doubts, I got doubts, I got doubts, yeah. Ooh, isn't it strange we turn to strangers? You've erased all your pictures on your phone. Ooh, your final words on a piece of paper. I don't love you anymore. Tell me that's good in me. Cause I got doubts, yeah. Tell me that's good in me. Cause I got doubts, yeah. Tell me that's good in me. Cause I got doubts, yeah. Tell me that's good in me, yeah. Cause I got doubts,
If you are a savvy senior who's seeking a lifestyle club that's centered around you, visit sittingroom.xyz today. The Sitting Room, sittingroom.xyz, where savvy seniors socialize, get event invites, organize among themselves, as well as obtain merchandise and get engaged to create new things. The Sitting Room, sittingroom.xyz. Visit today.
I thought I was long since over and done with you. Was so certain I had left it all behind. But somehow it figures you've stuck to my heart like glue. So here we go again, pressing rewind. My dream materialized. There were you. I'm struggling to realize it's true. out of thin air.
Weddings are expensive, but your love is worth it. Go to marryusnow.us to book the Minister of Love to officiate your wedding today. The fee is only $200 if your wedding is in the city of Chicago, and there's only a small fee to get the Minister of Love to travel outside of Chicago to your wedding location. Book the Minister of Love today. Visit marryusnow.us. That's marryusnow.us.
If you feel like it's real when I make your body shiver like an autumn leaf, I try to stay on my feet when you move a little closer to me. I can't breathe it. Your love is all I ever need. Take me going. It's time to let you know how I feel. 'Cause you're the one I dream about when I fall asleep. When I wake up in the morning, you're the first thing on my mind. There is no one else. Oh, baby, it's you. If you're there when I'm here, I don't know what I could do to feel you. It's surreal to be a part in my heart. There's a place where everything's about you. I don't know who could ever make me feel like you do. It's time to show you my love is true. 'Cause you're the one I dream about when I fall asleep. When I wake up in the morning, you're the first thing on my mind. There is no one else. Oh, baby, it's you. Yeah. And if I had another way to show you what my dreams are made of, I could somehow reach out to you, finally open the door. 'Cause you're the one I dream about when I fall asleep. When I wake up in the morning, you're the first thing on my mind. There is no one else. Oh, baby, you're the one I dream about when I fall asleep. When I wake up in the morning, you're the first thing on my mind. There is no one else. Ooh, you're the one I dream about when I fall asleep. When I wake up in the morning, you're the first thing on my mind. There is no one else. Oh, baby, you're the one I dream about when I fall asleep. When I wake up in the morning, you're the first thing on my mind. There is no one else. Oh, baby.
Want to buy stocks, jewels, real estate, or other high-end items? Would you love to be able to contribute to charitable initiatives but cannot do these things with the money you currently have? Join Regal City Investment and Social Club, where you can pool money each month with other investors to make major purchases, give to the needy, and possibly turn a profit. www.regalcity.xyz. Become a Regal citizen today by joining Regal City Investment and Social Club. regalcity.xyz.
My people, my fam, my folks, I thank you so much. We all here at Articulation Radio, thank you so much for tuning in today. and making us a part of what it is that you do. We encourage you to go over to our website, articulationmedia.club, and let us know not only what you think about today's episode, but make sure that your music, your interview, and your ad all take place right here on this station, Articulation Radio. Go to articulationmedia.club right now and hook yourself up. Make sure that you do that so you can hook other people up. But be sure to tune in again on Articulation Radio. We'll catch you again soon. And in the meantime, you already know, keep being a doer, keep being a move maker, and keep making things happen.